Raekwon, can you raise our learning attention for today?
Given a short poem, I will create a presentation showing, is that like presentation?
Presentation.
Presentation, I was close. Showing the tone and mood that scores a 15 out of 20 for the rubric.
So what do you think we're focused on today? What are the key terms? Raise your hand if you can tell me. What are the key terms we're focused on? Raekwon read, will create a presentation on tone and mood that scores a 15 out of 20 on the rubric. What are those key terms going to be? Samira? Tone and mood. We talked about mood. We talked about mood some last week. We said that was the overall emotion in the poem, how it made you feel. So what were some moods you guys found for Annabelle Lee when you made your illustrations? Logan, what was your mood you found? You said it was sad. What were some other moods we identified for Annabelle Lee? Samira? Romantic could have been a mood for Annabelle Lee. Sydney? Depressing could have been a mood for Annabelle Lee. You box those words, you box those images, and you figured out, all right, this poem is designed to make me feel sad, or it's designed to make me feel depressed, or it's designed to make me feel romantic. That's our mood. Tone is how the author feels about the audience, or how the author feels about the subject. So just remember it as, if your mom's speaking to you in a really, really angry tone, you're going to be in a bad mood. Which one of these is associated with the author? Tone or mood? Tone's associated with the author. That's how the author's speaking to you. Mood is associated with you, the reader. That's how you feel. And here's an example of a passage where we're going to have to figure out the tone. We're going to have to figure out how the author feels about us. And we know when we're reading that we don't actually hear the tone of voice. So we have to figure it out how. How can we figure out the tone when we're reading? If my mom's talking to me, I know exactly how she feels based on how her voice sounds. But if she's writing me a letter, then I'm not going to know. Am I? How am I going to figure out her tone if I'm reading it instead of hearing it? Sydney?
You can use like exclamation points, and maybe you can write in all caps.
Exclamation points, capital letters, different text features. That's a really good way to show tone. We know that a punctuation mark is going to convey a lot of emotion. What's another way I could tell? Samira?
Use of words.
Yes, word choice is really, really important for tone. If she changes one little word, it could change her whole tone towards her subject. So just like when we were doing Sea Lullaby yesterday, and you guys changed the whole poem just by changing the words, that's what we're looking for with tone. Raekwon?
Capital. Like, people use capitals on big words. I don't like that person who probably capitalizes, like yelling.
That could definitely show tone. People could do that. A lot of times when we're seeing an essay or formal writing, we don't see that, but we do see that with informal writing. All right, let's look at this one and see if we can figure out the author's tone. Can you read it for me, Kyrie?
But of course, when I pass her house on my early morning trots around the block, she is practicing her skills on the piano over and over and over and over. Then, in music class, she always lets herself get bumped accidentally on purpose onto the piano stool.
So if I was trying to figure out the author's tone in this, I would pay close attention to when she repeats over and over and over and over. Because to me, when someone says over and over and over, they want you to know they're tired of the person doing that thing over and over. But I think you're right that protectful is a good word. How can we change it? Why would it be unsatisfied?
Because,
Your evidence.
No, because you know the unsatisfied. He said it at the
Why do you say hateful?
Alex ripped it in half.
then how are we going to get
In the press?
But he's not even going to school next year.
She kind of feels like he's singled out, right?
Why you got
That's your evidence. I think you could say that.
bullies?
Towards the bully. So they kind of took a different angle. And what was your evidence, Sam? I can't read upside down. Okay, it seemed like she was a little bit threatening towards that person. Things like, if anyone has anything to say about Raymond, they have to come by me. So as we could look at the tone towards different characters, and it could be correct both ways. A lot of people thought that she was a boy, but this is actually Raymond's big sister.
That's what I thought. And he's older too.
Right, because they're talking about her little brother Raymond.
But then he's older than her.
Right, he is older than her. All right, attention up here, Janisha, up here. What about this one? This group said that their words were protective and anger. They had an angry tone because the author didn't like when people talked about her brother. So they found their evidence for why they felt that way. We've got anger and overprotective here because they use the phrase smart mouths. And we've got unsatisfied and protective over here. I think it's really interesting you guys use protective. Almost all of you did, because I didn't even think of that one. And that's a really good tone word to use here. To figure out the tone and the mood and record that and improve it.
Hurt, where'd you put hurt? No, because he said scarred and battered. Stop laughing, stop loving, stop living.
Fun. It does sound like she's having fun in this poem. Cheerful. You said happy too. You said joyful. So is he more happy or is he more joyful? Does it feel more joyful or does it feel more just happy? How could you prove that it's joyful? How is it really joyful? Okay, so dancing, what else? But that sounds very dramatic.
That's too a lot of people.
Very joyful.
We had to act stuff out.
No, you see that late.
But I was still good. You do it early.
Sad when we hurt, sad when we hurt. I'm curious about the end of the poem.
She got so she was like,
They don't try to make it last. I don't know.
no, fine.
I feel like there's
So you got like a little bit happy.
I think that you can use two tone words. Maybe her tone changes.
She don't care.
I'm just gonna be scared.
So what's the tone if she doesn't care?
Exactly. I'll make it slide.
An independent tone?
It took you like.
How could you say, why would you say, what's your evidence that she has an independent tone?
Because she said, I don't care.
I know, I would rather see that.
That would be your evidence for independent. And I think you're right that you need to include some of these layers for the video. So you probably need to use your nuance. I think we got some good tone words. I think we got some good evidence. I think we need to talk as a group about how you're going to act it out. Okay? Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to resettle yourselves. What I need you to do is you need to make sure that your keynote slide has been emailed to me. This is my email, so it's the Hampton City School suffix, and it's JSHILET. Make sure the keynote is emailed to me. Make sure you know exactly who's doing what, because you won't have time to talk about it when you present. Then come back to your seats. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do that.
We don't know how.
I should see everybody recording a tone unless you're one of the 2 people still sending your presentation to me. Madam and the rent man. The rent man knocked. He said,
Howdy do.
I said, what can I do for you? He said,
You know your rent is due.
I said, listen, before I pay, I go to Hades and rot away. The sink is broke, the water don't run, and you ain't done a thing you promised to done. Back window's cracked, the kitchen floor squeaks, there's rats in the cellar, and the attic leaks. He said,
Madam, it's not up to me. I'm just the agent, don't you see?
I said, naturally, you'd pass the buck. If it's money you want, you're out of luck. He said,
Madam, I ain't pleased.
I said, neither am I, so we agrees. Think about why that would be in the tone. Go ahead and write what you think the tone was in the back of your chart.
You broke my heart in two. You look cross-eyed and broke my heart in two. So I was crying on account of you.
The detailed words in the poem. I like how specific you were. I want to hear another one from Nassim. Can you tell me Nassim?
Listen to keywords and punctuation.
Nassim, remember punctuation. Excellent. Listen to keywords and punctuation. If you see exclamation point, that should be like a big neon sign saying, hey, hey, look here, there's where I can figure out the tone. You need to be comfortable with all your poetry terms we've learned so far. Raise your hand if you can give me what sound device this would be. The moon meandered in the mountains. What sound device would that be? Tamira? That is alliteration because I'm repeating the first letter, so go line up. Good. What if I said the horse neighed and whinnied? What sound device would that be, Brandon? That would be onomatopoeia because it's imitating sound. Go line up. What if I said the highwayman came riding, riding, riding? The highwayman came riding up to the old end door. Katrina. That would be repetition. Go line up.